TFA fam, what is going on? Thank you all so much for rocking with us. It is week 2 of the fantasy playoffs. The chat is already blowing up. I was trying to wait on Kev. He should be joining us here shortly. Before we get to the questions, just want to throw this up and just go over some of these guys that we are expecting to be out. This is the first time this year that I have had to make an extra column for the inactive players and then combine the other two. So just came out pre-show that Travis Kelce had not cleared protocol. He is out. Obviously, Austin Eckler, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, Nelson Aguilar, Patty Fry, Gabe Davis, Cole Beasley, Evans, Laviska, the New Orleans quarterback. So it looks like we are getting Ian Book week, and then Teddy Bridgewater. But we do have some good news. Tyreek Hill did clear protocol. DJ Moore is expected to play. Damien Harris is good to go. So that's a big boost for that running game. And also, if you have Damien Harris, that makes him a lot more attractive this week. Adam Thielen, Manny Sanders, Brevin Jordan, Tyler Lockett, all expected to play as well. Tyler Lockett did clear protocol. I threw Brevin Jordan on there because of the fact that the Brandon Cooks is out. So I think Brevin Jordan becomes a nice tight end streamer this week. And then questionable, we have to see what happens with Deandre Swift. He got in limited practices all week, but now looks like he's going to be part of a 3-man committee. So not entirely sure what to expect from him there. Antonio Gibson was limited all week. Doesn't look great for him. So if you have another option, I would be pivoting off of Gibson. Jamison Crowder looks like he's going to be out, and Darren Waller doubtful as well for the 3rd straight week, I believe. So it is a rough one. We complained about last week. This week might be even worse. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions. I appreciate all of you staying patient with us. Also, excuse me if I end up clearing my throat and coughing a bunch during the stream. But let's kick things off with Michael Brown here. Who should I start at flex? Zeke, Javonte, or Justin Jackson in a PPR league? My wide receivers are Keenan Allen and Deontay. Our RBs, Madison and Monty. Opponent I'm facing has Herbert, Kupp, and Taylor. Well, good news for you is that Taylor only put up, 11 points, only had 108 rushing yards, wasn't involved as a pass catcher, didn't score a touchdown. So at least you can chalk that one up as a win. Kupp and Herbert still remains to be seen, but I like what you have going with Keenan Allen and Deontay. Obviously, with Mike Williams being out, that shoots up Keenan Allen as well. Then Austin Eckler. I'm not entirely sure that a lot of those targets really go to Justin Jackson the same way they would Austin Eckler. And the thing I'm worried about with Justin Jackson is that we see the other running backs get involved as well. So I know Eckler came out and gave the stamp of approval to Justin Jackson. I do like him in this matchup, a really good matchup, obviously, against Houston. But I think, Mike, out of that group, I'm going to go Javonte. I just feel a little bit better, especially in a PPR league, about his involvement there. Like I said, Justin Jackson, the thing I'm worried about is that he just he's not going to get the full workload. So I'm going to go Javonte there, but that is really close between those three. And I would love to just say you're slamming in Zeke, but I think we are well past that kind of point. So appreciate the question, Mike. Moving on to Noel. Start one on a full PPR. Zeke, Pollard, Michelle, and Henderson. So a bunch of teammates here. I'm going to go, oh my God. I'm going to go Zeke on this one. Zeke has been involved as a pass catcher over the past couple of weeks. I know Pollard coming back eats into his ceiling, but I think this week we could see Henderson start to get a little bit more involved than he was last week. I think that's what we should have expected from Henderson in terms of not being as involved coming off of, we have to remember he had the injury and then he had COVID as well. So I think we could see that start to even out a little bit in terms of the opportunities there in that backfield. So I'm going to go Zeke on that one, and then Michelle would be second. But give me Zeke out of that group. Good luck to all of you. Franco, good morning to you as well. Need a wide receiver 2 between DK and Devonta and a flex between whoever you didn't choose and Miles Sanders. Full PPR. It is so hard to trust. I mean, both those receivers, to be honest. I will flex Sanders, and since I'm flexing Sanders, I do not want to double down on that Philly offense. So hopefully with what they said coming out with Pete Carroll saying they have to get DK more involved and they have to get him the ball, maybe there's a little bit of that squeaky wheel narrative there. So give me DK and Miles. Who to bench here between Zeke, Mixon, or Javonte in a half PPR? I'm benching Zeke out of that group. Looks like Mixon's going to be good to go. I know that he at least had in 2 full practices Thursday and Friday. Wednesday seems to be a little up in the air, whether it's limited or full. The Bengals site actually has him listed as a full participant all week, so I'm not worried about Mixon being banged up. In this game, obviously, they're going to be missing some pieces on the other side as well. I'm going to bench Zeke and give me Mixon and Javonte, with Javonte being in a really nice spot. Which do you, Philly, KC, Bengals, or Saints? I am going to roll with Philly on this one. The Bengals are obviously in a nice spot, but KC as well. The Saints, I'm not as high on. They would be last here for me. I'm going to go with Philly just because I feel like they have the better turnover record than Cincy does. So I'm going to go with Philly there, but it's close between Philly and Cincy. KC's obviously in a nice spot, but as, I guess, disappointing as the Steelers' offense has been all year, Ben hasn't been turning the ball over. So although, KC should be favored in that game, it last I saw it went up to, it was up at 8.5, I think the last I saw. Wow, now that line has moved to 10.5. So that line has been going all over the place all week, obviously, with the, with KC being up and down with the COVID outbreak they've been dealing with. But now that has moved back to 10.5. But like I said, Ben hasn't been turning the ball over. So I'm going to stick with Philly there. ET, what is up, my Penn State brethren? JT, Clyde at RB, Hill and Keenan Allen at wide receiver need a flex. Chase, Javonte, or stack Lockett with Russ. Let's see, JT, Clyde. I'm going to go Chase here. In this matchup, Baltimore's run D has still been pretty solid all year as long as they don't give up. There's a couple massive runs that have kind of doomed them whenever they do give up more running back production. So I'm going to go with Chase there. I think he probably has a really nice ceiling. Lockett and that Seattle offense is so up and down that if they're trying to force balls to DK in this matchup, I think Chase also went, 200 yards against them in their last matchup, and now that secondary is even worse off than they were the first time they matched up. So I'm going to go Chase there. Oh, man. What I'm really thinking about is switching out Javonte for Clyde, since you're running with Tyreek there. But Clyde is in a really nice spot. Man. It'd be nice if the Kansas City Chiefs guy would join us here and give me a little direction on the KC offense and how he's feeling with this one this week. Because he's also the Javonte guy as well. from the top rope.
What is going on?
Hey, buddy, right in time. We switching up. What I was debating on here is flipping out Javonte for Clyde and going with Chase. But I like the spot that Clyde is in with the Steelers' run defense just being absolute booty hole. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this one. Obviously, with having JT only put up 11 points yesterday.
I mean, yeah, that kind of puts him in a little bit of a situation because I mean, if you're talking about
this is non PPR. I'm just seeing that now. This is non PPR. If that changes anything,
I still think I would go Chase, and then I would probably switch Javonte with CEH because I don't think with now just being Kelsey out and having Hill back, like I don't think you're not. Andy Reid does not just commit to the run. It's just not in his blood. So I still wouldn't expect them to just run the rock with CEH the entire time. Daryl Williams is also pretty involved there. He gets most of the passes work, but it is a non-PPR, so it's not as big of a factor. But I still just wouldn't expect for him just to. It's not like I don't think he's going to get 20 touches today or anything like that. I would expect to be more in the 15 range. And the thing with Javonte is what you just saw is that they like last week, I mean, they've kind of turned the tide a little bit, and he ran almost 60% of the snaps. He ran about 50% of the routes. I think he played like almost 20 more snaps than he did last week. So, and this is a really good matchup against the Raiders. So,
yeah, that's where I was leaning as well. But obviously, Clyde has a soft spot in my heart, and the Steelers I just despise. So. Moving on to Michael's question here. We got a defense and a kicker question. Eagles D or Chargers D? Man, this one's close. These are my top
for me.
This has been my top two streamers on the week. With no Cooks, they don't have a run game that we have to be worried about since that is the Chargers' defensive weakness. But I think the Eagles probably have the higher turnover chance here. So that's how I would split between these two. But these are two of my favorite defenses this week. I lean the Eagles, but it's really close. And then Folk or Elliott at kicker.
Nick Folk.
Yahtzee. Ronnie, what is going on? TX has another question here. Swift or Barkley in a half PPR? I'm going Barkley. I have no idea what to expect from Swift in this one. Obviously, he's in a really nice spot, but how many targets does he realistically need to see in that matchup as well? Now Craig Reynolds and Jamal Williams and Tim Boyle at quarterback as well. I know Barkley has been disappointing, but I'm still going to rock with Barkley here.
Yeah, I would probably go Barkley.
Who knew that we'd be debating those two as closely as they are, but not for the reasons that we would really want to. Mr. Wong, good morning to you. Thoughts on Amari Cooper tonight? I have Dak as well. I hope we get the squeaky wheel narrative with Amari Cooper going on that radio show and talking about they've been struggling in the red zone. He feels like he could help there, been struggling on third down, feels like he could help there as well if he were just getting more targets. I like Amari Cooper in this matchup going up against Washington's secondary, who's been had all year. Obviously, last week we saw Philly really run through that rushing defense, but I don't think we can expect the same from Zeke and Pollard. So I do like Amari Cooper in this spot.
Yeah, I think he's a fine wide receiver 3.
He's boom bust.
Yes.
This could be one of those games where he ends up putting 27 points up, but it could be another 7-point performance as well. But I do like him. If I were to lean between the two, I think this could be more of a boom game than a bust game for Amari. Here is Ronnie's question. Philly, Chiefs, Pats, defense. So let's start there, and then he does have a super flex question. That's going to be Philly for me.
Yeah, it's really close. I think I have Philly at 3 and Chicago, or Kansas City at 4. So yeah, it's really close.
Oh, so Pats would be behind that for you.
Yeah. I think the Bills. I think the Bills win this game today. They absolutely have to. It's an absolute must win. If they lose this, they're starting to look at not making the playoffs, and so. Yeah, I know that they're not going to have Gabe Davis, but they are getting Manny Sanders back, so that does help. But I don't feel nearly as confident with the Pats defense.
Okay. I like Chiefs defense, but like I was saying before you jumped on, somebody had a question with the Chiefs defense as well. I just don't know how many turnovers they create with how well Ben has been taking care of the ball. That'd be my only concern there. But yeah, Philly would still be the defense for me. And then super flex question from Ronnie as well. Big Ben or Zack Wilson? Welcome to week 16.
I think you go Big Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zack Wilson is a little more interesting this week, just with some of the pieces they're missing on the other side, but it's not like that they're in a great spot either. So this is going to be Big Ben for me as well. CHB, Justin Jackson, Penny, or Damien Harris in a PPR?
Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson for me, but Damien Harris he'd be second on this list. He's very interesting with no Ramondre Stevenson, and that Buffalo Bills run D has just been dreadful for the past couple of weeks. They've been getting hit really hard in the run game, but I do like Jackson's matchup just a hair more, a smidge. And then Cam Newton, no. Josh Johnson or Drew Lock?
I think you go Josh Johnson.
I think out of that group you do too.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit like the Huntley. I mean, he's very much, their offense is kind of built around that style, and I think you probably see Josh Johnson run a fair amount. And so, I mean, Drew Lock, I can't go there with Drew Lock. And then Cam Newton, they've already talked about with him is that they are going to probably work in Sam Darnold. And so who knows how much Cam Newton plays. I mean, it really could be Cam Newton, playing, maybe getting some goal line opportunities and stuff like that. And that's it. And then Sam Darnold kind of does all the rest. So I'm not trusting Cam Newton whatsoever. So it would be Josh Johnson.
Yeah, when I was doing the pregame stuff and just looking up all the guys that we have in and out, and I'll just throw that up here now while I'm talking about it. It seemed like the way that I read it was if Sam Darnold does well enough, that he could be the guy for the rest of the game. So if Sam Darnold comes out and he looks even just a little bit better than Cam Newton does, I think we see Darnold take over this game. But I'm not interested in starting either of them in, not only in that matchup, but that offense is just an absolute mess right now. No McCaffrey, DJ Moore banged up. He is expected to play, but just not a situation that I want any part of. Moving on to Graham here. Damien Harris, Tyler Boyd, Mooney. We need two. So who are we sitting out of that group?
Tyler Boyd.
I'm going to sit Mooney.
I can't do that. He sees so many targets, and he is this passing offense. They're going to have to throw. I mean, Tyler Boyd is so hit or miss. I mean, he could see 8 targets. He could see 3 targets. Where Darnell Mooney's pretty much a lock to get, bare minimum, 5 to 7. But I think he's probably more in the 8 to 12 range. So I would sit Damien Harris before I sat Tyler Boyd, because if the game script goes sideways for the Patriots, Damien Harris is not going to have a good day, and he's going to get pulled off, and you're going to see more Brandon, Bolden and stuff like that versus somebody like Darnell Mooney, who is going to see a ton of targets. So I do think that game stays close, so that's why I would go with Harris. But Tyler Boyd, I like Tyler Boyd, but I'm not playing him over Darnell Mooney.
Big Dick Nick just scares me in that matchup.
Yeah, but he just locks on to guys. I mean, look at Allen Robinson, right? With what he would do with him. I mean, Allen Robinson was great with Nick Foles. I mean, he would see 12, 13, 14 targets. You could very well see the same thing with Darnell Mooney.
Yeah. I just feel more confident about the other two. I think Mooney certainly has the highest ceiling out of that group for sure, but also probably has the scarier floor for me. RC, party people. Rolando, we need to sit one here in a full PPR. Monty Patterson or Madison. Say that 3 times fast.
I would sit Patterson.
Man, that is close. It's so hard to pass up on.
Wait, hold on. I was thinking of the other Patterson. I was thinking of Jarrett Patterson. I didn't even think of Cordell. And then I was like, oh, wait, Cordell Patterson. That's probably who he means. I would sit Madison. That's who I would sit.
So DeAndre Swift is out. Just coming across, DeAndre Swift is out. I repeat, DeAndre Swift is out.
Why not just shut him down for the rest of the year at this point?
I don't know. I do not know.
Okay. Well,
so what did you say on this one?
I would sit Madison.
Okay, that's where I'm leaning as well. It's hard to sit the amount of touches that he's probably going to see, but I just the matchup I am not in love with. I like the other spots that Monty and Patterson are in better. Bex, full PPR, need a replacement for Kelsey, Henry, Komet, or Cook.
These are actually all really close because I actually like all 3 of these. Jared Cook is really interesting with no Mike Williams, no Austin Eckler, so it's going to be a really condensed target share. He's going to have to see more. He's probably going to see more targets. You probably see him work, the short and intermediate stuff. Game script is a little bit of a factor, but of how they could get there. But, at the same time, the Chargers do a really good job allowing teams to stay in it. So, I mean, I think he's very interesting, but I think Cole Kmet is as well. We saw him get a pretty nice target share last week in their game. And so, this is a matchup against Seattle. Seattle is not great against tight ends either. And so I'm going to go Cole Kmet.
I'm going to go Henry, but Komet is right there. Super, super close, like you said. These guys are all bunched together. I think with Nelson Aguilar being out, I don't think Kendrick Bourne is someone who they're going to lock onto here. So I think Henry could also see a couple more targets. And that Buffalo defense has just been on a complete downtrend over the past half of the season. But Komet is right there, Bex. Super close.
So I guess with Swift out, how do you view these two, the running back room here? With Swift being out.
What, between Jamal and Craig?
Yeah, because I think what happens is I could see Craig Reynolds being the early down back, and then they let Jamal be the third down pass catching role running back here.
Yeah, it seems like
I would project it.
Yeah, it seems like they love Craig. So I think Craig Reynolds probably sees more touches than Jamal does in this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what Craig is priced at on DK off the top of your head? Has he moved up at all? I'm just curious. Just with how he's been playing the past couple of weeks.
I do not. He's not somebody that but I have it up. I have DraftKings up, so
I'll read off this question while you're looking that up. We have start 2 wide receivers here from Robert Ruiz, Parker, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gallup, Manny, Palmer, or Van Jeff in a full PPR.
So Craig Reynolds is 4,500 and Jamal Williams is 5K.
Okay. I was just curious how far he had jumped up in the past couple of weeks. Parker, Brown, Gallup, Sanders, Palmer, Jefferson. Full PPR.
I think like all these guys are like right there with each other. Like there's not like a definite just stand out here.
With the players that, Beasley and Gabe Davis being out, I'm going to go Manny and then Amon-Ra.
I do think that Amon-Ra St. Brown, because we talked about this on the DJN show, that if you really look at Amon-Ra St. Brown's rise, it coincides directly with
Swift and
Deandre Swift being out. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're almost tied together. Which makes sense. The only thing that just makes me nervous about this is trusting, a different quarterback without. I mean, we don't have Jared Goff, right? So, I mean, things can get a little bit different. Things get a little bit weird of what he looks for and stuff like that. So, I think I would probably go Devontae. No, I would go Van Jefferson, and God damn it, I could go either all of these guys. I'm gonna lock in Emmanuel Sanders. I think he sees the easier matchups for the Bills with Stephon Diggs probably seeing a lot of J.C. Jackson in that game.
Yeah.
Which is good news for Emmanuel Sanders. Of course, Emmanuel Sanders has a propensity to give you a 0, but I think with all these guys out, they're going to have to. I think this really consolidates the target share here in this room. So I would go Emmanuel Sanders. I think he definitely has the highest upside. I mean, he has 25, 30-point upside in full PPR. It's definitely there, and so he's locked in. And then, you know what? I'm going to go with Devontae Parker. That's what I'm going to go with. That's what my gut's telling me to go with. I just think all these guys are very close, but Devontae Parker is the clear-cut number 2 wide receiver here, even with Jalen Waddle back. I mean, even when Jalen Waddle was playing, he was seeing 8+ targets every single game. And so I'm going to go with Devontae Parker. I just think he makes a little bit more sense. And, in the matchup that they're going to be getting, what did they play? Monday? Is it Monday night they play?
Yeah.
Saints, right?
Yep.
And Marshawn Lattimore has been very up and down, but what he ends up doing is he ends up getting burnt a lot because he bites too much he's too much of a ball hawk and then gets burnt deep, which is right up Devontae Parker's alley. And so I like Devontae Parker. I'm going to go Parker and Manny here. But you could talk me really any of these guys. I could talk about all these guys as being a really good play today.
Yeah, Parker would be third for me out of that group. But like you said, the thing that makes me nervous is that Saints D has been playing a little bit better. And with Lattimore being up and down, like, could this be one of his up games where he just shuts him out? That's why I lean Amon-Ra St. Brown with the injuries that they have.
And if they want to go Amon-Ra, I get it, especially in a full PPR. I mean, he could see another 12 targets today. I mean, that's what he's been averaging over the last 2 to 3 weeks. But it's just I'm just a little bit more trepidatious with Tim Boyle back there than Jared Goff. But if you want to go with Amon-Ra, I think that he makes for a good play too. It is a good matchup against the Falcons, and the Falcons do not. AJ Terrell is the guy that you want to avoid, and he's not going to be seeing him because AJ Terrell does not travel too much into the slot.
Gallup,
he's going to get the much better matchup.
Yeah. We need a cowboy here for Rolando. Gallup or Pollard?
I'm going to go Pollard.
Yeah. Pollard for me as well, but that one is close. I think you just got to go with the guaranteed touches there. Should I start Dawson Knox or pick up somebody like Kemet Ingram or Jared Cook? I'm going
Roll
Knox
with Dawson Knox. With Dawson Knox.
Tag team back again. It's Potty over here, Potty over there. Jim R. Komet or Ingram in a PPR?
I'm going Komet. I can't trust Devin Ingram. It's a great matchup. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Eagles are terrible against tight ends. We wanted to target the Eagles with tight ends, but I'm not trusting Evan Ingram. It's like they have they don't use him. I don't get why.
Yeah.
He's an uber athletic tight end, and they have no real. I mean, a lot of their weapons have been hurt for so long. I do not know why they do not feature Evan Ingram. I hope that Evan Ingram is on a different roster next year because I think he's better than what they've how they've used him. Yes, he's been hurt a lot throughout his career, but he's still a really athletic tight end that they just don't use. I don't know why.
Yeah, especially with the injuries they've been having either. It's not like they've been fully healthy and fully loaded all season. They've had a bunch of injuries, and he still really hasn't come through. Moving on to Crip, we need 2 here in full PPR. Gage, Amon-Ra, Sanders, Gibson, Jackson. Starting CPAT, Madison, and Keenan Allen. So we need 2 here for Crip.
Miles. I'm assuming that's Miles.
I would assume.
It would be Miles. I want to say Gibson, but I don't know. Has that come through yet?
It seems like he should be okay to give it a go, but like nothing definite yet. He's listed as questionable.
Yeah. And then it played tonight, so it's not like you get that opportunity to. He's a game time decision. I don't know if I can trust him because, man, even if he plays, you know. So I would go Miles and Justin Jackson.
I want to get Gage in there.
I love Justin Jackson. He's. I mean, even Austin Eckler hooking it up for the homies, even on his own show, said people should be running out and picking up Justin Jackson. I'll trust somebody with some actual, knowledge of the situation of how this could play out. And, sounds like he is going to be the lead back. Great matchup against Houston. Yes, Joshua Kelly's got to be involved as well. But, Justin Jackson is a really strong start. So it's terrific matchup. We want to target the Texans on the ground. So I think you go Miles and Justin Jackson. I do like Gage. He does, make some sense, especially against the Lions. But we have seen them. If you go a couple of weeks ago, whenever I can't remember who it was they blew out, but they were really, really run heavy in that game. And we saw that was Mike Davis had a ton of carries. So did Cordero Patterson. And so that would be what would concern me is that they go full, run heavy. Russell Gage doesn't see the type of targets he's been seeing the last couple of weeks. So that's what would concern me.
Would you sit Madison for either of those backs to get Gage in?
No. It's just because, Madison could get there. A couple, goal line touchdown, something like that. It is not as good of a matchup. That's why I'm a little bit lower on Alexander Madison, but he's still probably going to see 80% of the touches in this backfield. He'll be involved as a pass catcher as well. So,
yeah. Zeke or Javonte in a half PPR. I'm going Javonte.
Yeah.
Savvy, KC, Bengals, or Miami D.
This is KC for me. The Chiefs have pretty much all of their players back now on defense. The only players that they are without is Nick Bolton, which matters. Rookie linebacker. He's played really, really well this year, but they are getting Willie Gay back. Chris Jones is the biggest piece that they're getting back, so they'll be completely healthy along that defensive line where we've really seen them turn it around, be able to get pressure on quarterbacks. Big Ben is an absolute fucking statue back there, and Steve Spagnuolo will just bring the house. against him, and that offensive line is not one that I would trust. So, and Big Ben has been known, if you're able to get pressure on him, he will make some really dumb decisions and make some bad throws. And so it's just really hard. I can't sit. KC just makes the most sense. I mean, Miami's not terrible either, considering you're talking about Ian Book being the starting quarterback.
Right.
But I think you see them just fully commit to the run, and that's all they're going to do the entire game, regardless, with their defense and everything else. And they just do not. They're not going to put him in a situation to make a lot of throws, and so unless they just absolutely have to. So that's why Kansas City just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I think they're probably the safest one here. I'll roll with you, but let's roll KC. The Dutch Master is back. Scotty Miller, Tim Patrick, or Tevin Coleman. Let's go.
How did we get here? There was so many options. So many value options out there. I mean, with so many players out, I felt like there's got to be better options than this. I would think. Josh Palmer would certainly be one. I mean, I don't mind Scotty Miller because he's probably he is going to play play the outside. He almost exclusively plays the outside, which is weird given his size and everything else. That you would think that he'd be more of an inside slot wide receiver, but that's not the case. He's going to play on the outside in this one, but he's still like the fourth option at best. I mean, Tyler Johnson is obviously ahead of him. Antonio Brown, Gronk, all those guys are going to be well ahead of him. Tim Patrick is interesting, and then Tevin Coleman, no. Can't do it. So I guess if I had to choose from this options, I would go Tim Patrick. But
yeah, that'd be my my choice as well. Dutch, if you're still rocking with us, send us some of the people who are still available on your waivers, and we'll see if we can get a better option in there. The Dallas D or Philly D. I'm going Philly there.
Yeah.
Tyler Johnson or Devonta Smith?
I'm going to go Devonta Smith.
This is way closer than it should be. Oh my God. I want to say Tyler Johnson. I really do. Just with, I mean, Devonta Smith hasn't seen more than 5 targets since week 11. And I just don't know. I'm going Tyler Johnson. Give me Johnson.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, I get it. I get to play. He makes some sense in terms of it's just, I don't know. Devonta Smith's problem hasn't been, it's been more of game script and the type of games that they've been in, and them.
Yeah, I don't think that changes this game.
And very well could be, against the Giants. This is Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, Patty Mahomes there for you, Porter. Safe travels. Happy Sunday to you as well. Andrew, who should I start for a RB2? Patterson, Monty, Carter, or Justin Jackson?
For an RB2, I'm going to go with Monty.
Carter would be last for me out of the group.
Yeah, I would go Monty, Patterson, Jackson, Carter.
Yeah, Monty for me as well. And then a QB, Burrow or Dak.
I'm going to go Dak.
I'm going to go Burrow. I think Dak probably has the higher ceiling, but I think Burrow's just a little more safer, and I don't think his ceiling is that far off. So that one's going to be Burrow for me. They're close. Danny Jank, PPR pick 2, Jackson, Thielen, Waddle, Barkley, DJ Moore. I can't trust Thielen. I know he's expected to play, but I'm not trusting him on that ankle, especially whenever KJ Osborne's been playing well. Amir Smith-Marset getting a little bit more involved as well because of Thielen being out, so I can't trust him. So he's going down for me. I think it's going to be Jackson and Waddle.
I'm not sitting Waddle. Waddle is a borderline wide receiver 1 for me, so Waddle is definitely playing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jackson and Waddle.
I'm going to go DJ Moore and Waddle.
Who would be third for you?
Justin Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want any part of that Carolina offense, to be honest.
I really like DJ Moore today. I think he's going to see a lot of targets. The Buccaneers secondary is absolutely gutted. They continue to lose pieces along that defense. And I think you probably see a really heavy target share. Even the last 3 weeks, he's seen 31 targets the last week. He's seen double-digit targets in every game the last 3 weeks in a row. His target share is so safe, and they're going to be trailing. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And like I said, Tampa Bay's secondary is just gutted. And so I'm going to go DJ Moore here.
Yeah, Moore would be my... I think I'd have Barkley and Moore would be real close. It's Jackson and Waddle for me. And that's how I lean. Chargers or Dolphins defense is going to be the Chargers for me. The Dolphins are close, but like Kev was saying with Ian Book, I think it's just a heavy, heavy dose of the run game for him. And then whenever they do have him throw, I think it's going to be a lot of Nick Van Nett and Kamara there as well. So not going to have him pushing the ball down the field. So I think the Chargers probably have the best chance for turnovers. Triple cross. Barkley and Gibby also have the backup Patterson. Should I wait on Gibson or start Barkley? I'm just going Barkley there.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Even with Barkley being disappointing, I cannot get myself to start Jarrett Patterson over Barkley if Gibson doesn't go. And then if he does go,
if Gibson plays, he could play the first series, and then all of a sudden they pull him. I would be so many different shades of heated if something like that happened. So I think you got to go with Barkley.
Have PPR, Mixon, Zeke, or Jackson. We need 2 here for K&N.
Mixon and Justin Jackson.
Yeah, I'm sitting Zeke as well. Jim, Harris, Amon-Ra, Devonta Smith for the last flex spot.
I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Thinking of PPR, I will go St. Brown, but I do like the spot that Harris is in. Because I don't think we see Buffalo jump out to a big enough lead that they're going to have to abandon the run. So Harris is really close, but in a full PPR, I do give the nod to St. Brown. Would we bench Mac Jones for Jacobs or Rojo? I would not.
No.
Another kicker question. McManus, Fry, or Brett? We need Robbie here for the kicker questions.
I'm going to go Maher.
Good enough. Ivan Torres. Javonte, Clyde, Amari. We need one in the flex.
I'm going to go Javonte.
Javonte for me as well. 2 bros, 1 journey. RB and a flex have Monty, Rojo, and Jackson.
You're right, Mike. So David Montgomery.
Oh, and a flex.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sitting Rojo.
Well, we still need a flex. So that's why I was just saying I'm going to play David Montgomery at running back. I'm going to play Tyler Lockett at wide receiver. And he's losing by 100.
What? Yeah, so it's going to be
You got to go Lockett. Lockett has like a 40-point, ceiling.
Yeah.
So
Monty, Justin Jackson, and Lockett.
Yes.
Rosaball, thanks for the advice all year. Thank you for rocking with us. J.R. Palmer or Freeman in the flex today, full PPR.
I'm going to go with Freeman.
I'm going to go Palmer. In a full PPR.
I just don't know exactly how this is going to work for Palmer because with Mike Williams out, it'd be different if it was Keenan Allen. But with Palmer out or with Mike Williams out, because Palmer's pretty much played a lot on the inside, and obviously that's where Keenan Allen is. And then they're not going to move Keenan Allen to the outside just because Mike Williams is out. And so I think Jalen Guyton. So I mean, 3 wide receiver sets. Obviously, it's going to be Palmer and Guyton with Keenan Allen. But I also don't think they're going to have to throw the ball, a lot either. And so that probably squeezes Josh Palmer a little bit. And so that's why
Palmer's played more on the outside than he has in the slot. 177 snaps on the outside, 128 in the slot.
Right, but I'm talking about so we've seen a game this year with Keenan Allen being out.
Yeah.
And they used him a
kicked
lot
it. He had 35 in that game, 35 snaps in the slot and 23 out wide.
Yes. And so that's more of what I was referring to, of how I could view this going. But with Keenan being out there, Keenan could see 15 targets. I mean, he's been doing that anyway with Mike Williams. And so I just think it's a little bit more thin. Devonta Freeman makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I think Freeman's probably the safer option, but I don't like that matchup all that much. Since he's run D has been pretty well. You beat them through the air. Freeman has been getting more targets than Latavius, but I think we're starting to see that snap share close a little bit, where it seemed like Freeman was the guy, and now Latavius Murray's been a little bit more involved and looks like he's starting to finally be fully healthy. So I would just lean Palmer there in a full PPR. Sony or Henderson, I still lean Sony in this one, but I don't think the snap and touch disparity is as wide as it was last week. I think we see Henderson get a little bit more involved, but I would still lean Sony.
And not that it's anything to do with this week, but just absolutely love to see Cam Akers get activated. Obviously, he's not going to play this week, but just to be able to see him get back already, just the storyline of it is amazing that he is already back.
Thielen or Lockett, like we said before, we can't trust Thielen, so this one's going to be Lockett for us. Appreciate the question, CHB. Ivan with another one. Trevor Lawrence, Matt Ryan, or Tua?
I'm going to go Matt Ryan.
I'm going Matt Ryan as well. Tua would be second for me. Our Ma'am Tam. Have Pollard as flex now. Also have Daryl Williams, DJ Moore on the bench. Waivers with Singletary, Manny Sanders, Kendrick Bourne, or Mike Davis. We playing anybody over Pollard?
DJ Moore.
And I would play Sanders over Pollard as well. So Pollard is definitely going to the bench. just prefer Sanders in that spot to DJ Moore. I know he's still been seeing the targets, but if we start getting into something where it's in and out between Darnold and Cam, like I don't know. I don't know how that works out. So I would lean Manny. Kev leans DJ Moore, but either way, we are putting Pollard to the bench. Hawkin? Let's go with that. Let's go Hawkin. Who do I start? Rojo or Waddle? Need a boom to stay in. Waddle is your guy.
Especially if you need a boom.
Yeah. All-Star Gamer. Really like seeing some of the new names and new faces in here. So if you're rocking with us, if we're helping you out at all, please hit us with a sub while you are here. We do appreciate all you guys. And even when the season ends, the content will not. So make sure you're keeping it locked in here. Don't unsubscribe. Don't do that. You don't need to go away. Stay here with us. All-Star Gamer. Lockett, Renfro, Jamar Chase, St. Brown, Gage, Michael Carter. We need 3. 2 of them are wide receivers. So let's start there with the wide receivers. Obviously, we're locking in Chase. Who do you like after that?
Lockett.
And then we need one with Renfro. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I lean as well. So Lockett, Renfro, and Chase there for you. All-Star. Sean Crawford. Everett in full PPR, tight end premium, or Manny Sanders? It would depend what the premium is for me. Like if it's just like going from a half PPR to a full PPR, like I don't think tight end premium really carries all that much weight, to be honest.
Well, it depends on the tight end.
Well, yeah. Even with right. But like if you were talking about Kittle versus Sanders, like it's still going to be Kittle every time. You know what I mean? But anyway,
yeah. I think depending on what the premium is, unless it's something absurd, I would go Manuel Sanders. And I just again, there's so many value tight ends this week. Like I'm not playing Gerald Everett. You know, I mean you have now
Brevin Jordan.
Gray. Brevin Jordan.
Would you still go Noah Gray with Blake Bell being activated?
Yeah, so because I think the way that's going to work is I think Blake Bell is still going to be kind of the blocking, run blocking tight end, inline blocker, versus I think Noah Gray is going to be the pass catcher here. So,
yeah, I mean I like Brevin Jordan this week with Cooks being out. Nick Van Nett makes some sense as well because I think both Jawan Johnson and Troutman are out for this game as well, but yeah, but between these two, it's still Sanders. Two Craig Reynolds questions here back to back. One from Rewind, one from Fave Rocks. Reynolds or Williams for Detroit with no Swift. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I lean Craig Reynolds. I think he ends up seeing more touches than Jamal Williams does in this one. There's really no reason for them to load Jamal Williams up with touches, and it seems like they really like Craig Reynolds. So I would go Reynolds here over Jamal. It looks like this question hurts you.
Well, it's just I think I would go with this being, I presume this is a full PPR, I would assume. I don't know. I guess Reynolds probably makes the most sense. He's probably going to see the most early down work. We haven't seen Jamal Williams since, week 13? So, and I do know that guys coming, because he was on COVID, correct?
I think he was banged up, and then he was also on COVID and didn't clear that for like 2 weeks, I think.
So the COVID stuff, like we've seen some of these guys that have come back, they've gotten a limited workload once they've come back because of, I don't know, being, on COVID or having COVID and stuff like that. So I think I probably would lean a little bit more towards Reynolds. I wish Reynolds was a little bit more involved in the passing game than what he's been, but I would probably lean a little bit more towards Reynolds.
Reynolds for me as well. Excuse me. Ashton, appreciate the kind words. And then TN, always coming through. Hope you had a great holiday as well, TN. And this guy.
The original OG, like our number 2 or 3 subscriber we ever had.
Yep. The OG of all of the OGs. Going to keep this one up here and going to start going to some of the other questions. Really appreciate you. Hope you have a great holiday season and a great new year as well, TN. Going over to Fave Rock. So this was the other Craig Reynolds question. We're in the flex here. Reynolds, Van Jeff, Boyd, or Singletary?
I would go Singletary, I think.
Okay. I thought we were getting Van Jeff out of you there.
It's hard to deny what I mean. They've really committed to Devin Singletary last couple of weeks, and he's pass catcher. But we saw last week against Carolina, he played 95% of the snaps. That's kind of hard to find from running backs. 22 carries in that game. He ran 34 routes, which is the most among all the running backs on that team. Only was targeted once, but it was kind of more of a game script type of thing. They didn't have to do a whole lot. Scored a touchdown. The week before that against Tampa, played 82% of the snaps. Ran 24 routes, which is also solid, but he was targeted 7 times in that game, 6 for 89. Receptions there, 14.9. So he scored double digits the last 2 weeks. I think it's Devin Singletary. I think you're muted, or I'm muted, one or the other.
Thank you. I was just saying, I think Singletary is definitely the safest option out of that group. I'm interested in Van Jeff though, but I think for the floor, I'm going Singletary, and that's where New England's weaknesses on the defense as well is with the run game.
Are you nervous though with Van Jefferson not saying? I mean, the last 2 weeks, like Arizona 3 targets, week 15 against Seattle 2 targets. Like we've really seen his targets that he was saying really dry up. So that's what would concern me. I mean, he just hasn't been heavily involved. He's still playing a lot of snaps, 77% and then 93% the last 2 weeks, but he's also just not seeing the targets.
Yeah, a little bit. I just think he has more of the boom potential. Like I don't know the ceiling for Singletary in this one because we really haven't seen outside like the 20 carries last week. That was heavily influenced by the game script, right? They were leading that entire game against Carolina. There was really no reason for them to have to open up the passing game there, and Josh Allen was getting a little bit on the ground as well.
But I think what helps him is the fact that he is their preferred pass catcher out of the backfield. And so it's like different if it was like Zach Moss all of a sudden getting 20 carries, right? Where like he could be game scripted. Yeah. I don't think Devin Singletary gets game scripted. And especially with all the guys that they have hurt. I mean, he's probably going to see a little bit more opportunities there as well. So like Devin Singletary is a pretty strong like top 20 running back for me this week.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to Ali's question. Clyde or Javonte in a PPR? Javonte for me as well, but it is close. Xenon started Jeff Wilson already, so we're looking at James Robinson, Najee, Justin Jackson, and Clyde. We need 2. So 2 out of J-Rob, Najee, Justin Jackson, and Clyde.
Absolutely 1,000% James Robinson. There's not even a debate to be had. I have him as a top 2 running back this week. So it is,
and he's not 2.
Yeah. And James Robinson's a lock. And then
yes. Harris, Justin Jackson, or Clyde. We need 1 out of that group.
I'm gonna go Najee.
Were you gonna say Justin Jackson?
I was thinking it, but I can't set somebody that's gonna see. He just gets way too many opportunities to set him.
I mean, Justin Jackson going to be seeing those opportunities as well.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think I can make a case that he's going to see 90% to 95% of the opportunities. You know, it's just tough. I know, and I get it. With Najee, with him, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. He hasn't been as
doo-doo
consistent.
butter.
I don't really understand why they've stopped utilizing him as a pass catcher as well. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but he's just not being as involved as a pass catcher as I would like to see. So, but I'm not sitting him.
Okay, thought I could get you over there. Michael Brown has another question. Pick 2: Monty in the snow, Javonte, Justin Jackson, or Zeke in a PPR.
Monty.
Who's your second one? Javonte?
Yes.
Mohamed, Knox or DJ Moore? I'm going Knox here.
DJ Moore. Just pushing all in on DJ Moore this week.
As is tradition. Xenon is going to be without Kelsey, so do we like Gesicki or Moreau?
Gesicki.
Yeah, Gesicki for me out of that group as well. Cook or Hunter Henry? This one's going to be Hunter Henry for me.
Yeah, I would go Cook.
Ooh. I did not see this. So if we want to, I don't think Joseph would steer us wrong here. But that would make Palmer obviously more enticing in this one if Guyton is out. I did not.
Yeah, because that solidifies him as the Jalen Guyton's out.
There we go. Triple cross, Lockett, Marquise Brown, St. Brown. We need 2. Lockett for sure. Man.
Let's see here. I wanted to check Roto Grinders for the weather. So the Chicago-Seattle game just feels kind of gross in Seattle today for Chicago. Temps in the 20s, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. So winds is not a factor, so that's positive. And there will be snow showers here. Here in the saving grace here is that the winds will stay pretty manageable at 10 to 15 with gusts around 20. So I expect the game will play and mostly minor impacts to passing and kicking, even if it looks ugly on TV with the snow. So that's positive. The winds is really all I care about. I really don't care all that much about snow. So I would go Lockett and Marquise Brown.
I'm going Lockett, and then I think if you need safety, I'm going St. Brown. But if
I don't understand what they've done with Marquise Brown. He's not I want to say it's like he has not seen a deep target since it was week 9 or 10. Like they have not been targeting him deep whatsoever. Now I get it. The past couple weeks, Lamar Jackson has been out, but everything has been short and intermediate with him. But last week he saw 14 targets, which is crazy because he only ended up with 14.3, 10 receptions for 43 yards. I'm in half point scoring, and 7 targets before that. I'm going to go Marquise Brown.
Yeah, I think if you're going for another boom play, I'd go Marquise Brown because the Cincy secondary is very suspect, and that's where you beat them. But obviously now we're down to a practice squad quarterback, basically. Although it does help that he got some play this year for the Jets. But I think the safer pick is St. Brown and Lockett. But if you need, if you don't care about the floor and you're only shooting ceiling, I think Marquise Brown could make some sense because we did see in that game where he played for the Jets, he was taking some shots downfield as well. So maybe that could help with Marquise Brown. But I'm going to lean St. Brown unless you need a little bit more of a boom bust option. Then go Marquise. Xenon started on Jones. We need 2 here. Patterson, J-Rob, Rojo, Mixon.
James Robinson, 100%.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, same for me. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, would I be sitting Joe Mixon for CPAT, I'd punch you directly in the face. But it's 2021. And CPAT
for a few more days, and then we can turn the book on this wild year and wild fantasy season.
We need one here.
I think the worst part though really has just been the COVID the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of random stuff happen this year. A lot of guys that nobody was expecting to kind of produce the way that they have. But that's typical all fantasy football stuff. I mean, this stuff happens every year. Yeah, you get breakouts, you get guys that people weren't expecting. That's why we play this. But the last couple of weeks have been really the worst because it's really just wrecked people that probably had a pretty good shot of going on a run, maybe winning the championship, where all of a sudden now they just get hammered with injuries, or not injuries but COVID stuff. Yeah. And that's not in anybody's control, and there's no way we could see it coming and really prepare for it. And every day it's like, you're like, okay, you just got to be hooked to the news because as soon as somebody gets ruled out, you're trying to scramble to get to the waiver wire to add the direct backup and try to understand all that stuff. It just makes it the worst. This is what's happened this year. But
we need one here for Ryan. Manny Sanders, Claypool, Devontae Parker in a PPR. I'm sure you're going to lean Parker, and I'm going to lean Manny.
Yes, but I will say I think Emmanuel Sanders does have the highest ceiling here.
Yeah, I just feel a little bit better with Manny. Parker, like I said, could be a shutdown game from Lattimore. Could be a game where he lets him go off for 8 and 100. You know what I mean? So I just feel a little bit better with Manny. I don't know if Parker is the guy to make Lattimore pay necessarily. So I'm going to go, especially with Waddle back. So it's going to be Manny Sanders for me. We need 2 here from Xenon. Renfro, Gage, Parker again, or Odell.
Renfro.
I'm going with the first 2. Who's going to be your second one?
Oh. Renfro and Odell here.
Rojo or Saquon for the easy money Sicilian?
I'm going to go Saquon.
Saquon for me as well. It's the way it always feels, Ivan. Flex full PPR for Robert Michelle or Penny? This is Sony for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sony.
Kai, happy holidays to you as well. So Thielen, Russell Gage, or Rojo?
I think I'm finally going to get my first one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Rojo.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to turn away from 16 touches, right? And in a game where Atlanta might not need to drop back and throw, 35 times in this one. You got us, Kai. You finally got us. Coopermans are joining us. In a PPR, need 2 wide receivers, Parker, Reynolds, Sutton, or Treadwell. And Laviska Shenault is out, so Treadwell does become a little more interesting. But who do you like here out of these 2?
So Parker for sure. Man. Let's see. I think Sutton's going to see a lot of Casey Hayward, which is really not good. Yeah, he's going to see the most of Casey Hayward. Okay. But the thing is though, with Drew Lock, like Sutton becomes a little bit more interesting because Drew Lock just doesn't give a shit and is going to gunsling, right? That's just what Drew Lock does. And so I'm going to go with Parker and Sutton.
Parker for sure. And man, I think I'm going to go Treadwell. It seems crazy to say it, but I think Treadwell might be safer. Over the past 4 weeks, he does not have less than 50 yards receiving in any game. And over that time, 8, 5, 6, and 9 targets. Now we have no Laviska Shenault. I'm going to go Treadwell going up against the Jets.
Yeah, very low ceiling here. I'm really curious.
I mean,
I'm really curious. I'm really curious who else he started because man, this team, like the running backs we're looking at here. I mean, this is who else have they started and. Because like if maybe they started Nick Chubb and Devontae Adams or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing some names out there where like they have a really solid lead, whatever, right? And you're not really looking for the straight ceiling because Treadwell has no ceiling. Treadwell, I think at most he's going to get you 10, 12 fantasy points, right? So he's kind of a safe option. But if you're behind and you're swinging for the fences, I'm not playing the Quan Treadwell whatsoever. I don't mind it as more of just like a floor play, but I don't know. It's also again like it's hard to really judge how this is going to turn out if they're trailing and they're playing the Jets. Obviously, they just got their ass beat by the Texans, but so it's a little bit tougher. But if I'm shooting straight ceiling, I'm going Parker and Sutton. I mean. But because Josh Reynolds, I think, is also going to have the pleasure of going up against AJ Terrell. I think that'll probably be the main guy. And it's Tim Boyle. Yes, and so he kind of takes it out of the mix for me. And so it comes down to those three. And if secure, if 10 fantasy points is all you're kind of needing, go Treadwell. But if not, I'm going Parker and Sutton.
I think that makes sense. Then the running back here, Abdullah, Pollard, or Penny.
I'm going to go Penny.
I would go Pollard at running back, and then we need one flex. So Schultz or any of the above, or not Schultz and 2 of the above. So we need 2 flex spots here.
Yeah, I think you stick with Schultz and you go Pollard.
Yeah, sticking with Schultz, and then I'll go Penny, but I don't love it. I don't love it. Luke, we need 2 here between the Washington running backs, Renfro, Rojo, St. Brown.
I'm not trusting the Washington running back, so I'm going to go Renfro and Rojo.
Same there for me. I like Palmer.
I think Palmer becomes a little bit more. I don't know if I'd call him still safer, even with Guyton out. But I think it kind of raises his floor a little bit more. But
yeah, I like Palmer beforehand.
So if you want to go, like I said, if you want to go Palmer, I have no qualms with that whatsoever.
Najee, Madison, Monty, Rojo, or Javonte. We need 2 in a PPR.
Monty and Javonte.
Yes. And CD or Deontay.
Oh, Lord.
That one's going to be Lamb for me.
That's going to be Deontay for me.
I do like them both, but I'm going to lean CD Lamb in the matchup.
I couldn't imagine having to sit either one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, looks like Andrew has to do it. CB, we need a flex PPR. Zeke, Gallup, Rojo, Jackson, or Renfro.
I'm going to go Justin Jackson.
Yeah. Yes. Truth teller. I think I'm going to start Thielen. A matchup could be high scoring. Is that not smart? I'm back and forth on starting Barkley or Michelle, or do I start both and sit Thielen?
If Thielen was healthy, I would say, yeah, we're going to play Adam Thielen, right? Because it is a pretty high scoring game, and I still don't necessarily hate playing him with that But the only thing that I know of is last week they showed him pregame out there trying to get ready and trying to see if he could go, and he looked terrible, and obviously he didn't play. Now it's been another week since then, and so obviously he's had a little bit more time, but this is a really quick turnaround for a high ankle sprain. And
Yep.
this feels like
And a
I'm rushing back
32-year-old.
because we're on the desperate brink of being kicked out of the playoffs, And so let me try to rush back, and get back for this. And so I really don't feel great. Now he is heavily utilized in the red zone and stuff like that, but it's just really hard to trust playing Adam Thielen coming off a high ankle sprain. And so, I would probably lean towards playing Barkley and Michelle. Now, don't get me wrong, Barkley's not in a great matchup either. I mean, the Philly has been a really good run defense, but the last month of the season, but Barkley could also see 10 targets and be heavily utilized as a pass catcher, where I don't know if you're going to see that for Adam Thielen, and it's just tough to trust somebody with that kind of injury because he could very well go out there and try to give it a go, or re-aggravate it at any time. It's just. It is a really quick turnaround for a high ankle sprain. Normally, you're seeing 4 to 6 weeks for a high ankle sprain. He's back in 2, 3?
Yeah.
So I'm not a doctor at all, but I just and this situation where I would really hate to get kicked out of the playoffs because I played Adam Thielen, who's banged up. That's where I would go.
Yeah, I would sit both as well, and then Kmet or Everett. We're gonna go Kmet there.
Yeah.
Xenon, yes. CPAT over Mixon. As long as that is Cordarrelle Patterson. Mike Duke, we need 2. Parker, Gage, St. Brown. Who are we sitting? I'm going to sit Parker.
I'm going to go Parker and St. Brown.
And then Tua or Big Ben.
I'm going to go Big Ben.
I would go Tua over Big Ben. Rico, Thielen or Gage in a PPR. We're not really messing with Thielen with his injury, so this is going to be Gage, and especially in a PPR, I think you can feel pretty confident in that. Full PPR 16 team here for YB. We need 2. Penny, Jamal Williams, Craig Reynolds, Laquan Treadwell.
I'm going to go Penny and Reynolds.
I will go Penny and Treadwell. BJJ Freak 82. Merry Christmas to you as well. We need a flex in PPR here. Gibson, Sony, or Parker. Not messing with Gibson. I'm going to go Sony here over Devontae Parker.
I really want to play Antonio Gibson here. Like but I think he probably goes Sony, I guess.
Max Payne, Kelsey out in that same league, O'Shaughnessy or Noah Gray. Is Brevin Jordan available? YB, I would play Brevin Jordan over both.
I was trying to see if I don't know if Dan Arnold got activated yet or not for this week. They designated him for return, and they said there was a chance he could return. I was trying to find that real quick. I saw this before you asked it. So I was trying to see if Arnold has returned or not, but because that makes a big difference. I think he's out. I don't think they brought him back for this week. So a little bit closer. I would go Noah Gray. I'm shooting for the ceiling here, and Noah Gray could definitely be it without Travis Kelce.
Sorry, I'm just looking at a list here to see who else might be available. If Brevin Jordan
another one low key that could be is Zach Gentry with the Patty Fry out. No Ebron, big 6'8", just monster of a man that Zach Gentry is. We know Big Ben loves his tight ends. And so, I think he could be kind of a goal line type guy, red zone option for them, and somebody that sees a decent amount of targets for them. So Zach Gentry is somebody that I think is interesting without any Patty Fry.
Knox, Foster, or Fant in a full PPR for the easy money Siciliano.
Knox.
Knoxon at heaven's door. AB or Patterson in the flex.
I'm going to go AB.
I'm going to go Patterson there, but AB, I like AB as a play this week. What if we throw Renfro into the mix? Still going AB. Okay, it would still be CPAT for me. Patel, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. We need two here: Sanders, Javonte, Michelle, or Penny.
Sanders and Javonte.
Same for me. Cook or Foster Moreau?
Jared Cook.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cook there as well. Half PPR for Tam. We need a boom. Sanders, Singletary, or DJ Moore?
Go DJ Moore.
I'm going to go Manny Sanders if we need the boom. I think Bosa is out, CB, but that doesn't really change anything for me, honestly. Going up against Houston, going up against Houston without Brandon Cooks, they have no run game, so I still like the Chargers D even if Bosa is out. Alec over on Facebook, we need three here in a full PPR. Hollywood Brown, Dawson Knox, Lockett, or Hunter Henry. We need to sit one.
If we're sitting one, I'm sitting Hunter Henry.
Yeah. AB, Metcalf, Cooper, Van Jeff. Who am I sitting for trouble?
Van Jefferson.
Sitting Van Jefferson. Komet, Higbee in a full PPR. This is going to be Komet for me.
Yes.
Hurts or Allen?
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
I'm going Jalen Hurts as well. Sony or Carter? That's going to be Sony for me.
Yes.
Rojo, Justin Jackson, Mixon, or Sanders in a full PPR? Need two.
Miles Sanders.
And Mixon for me.
I'm going to go Justin Jackson.
Jackson's really, really close to those two. He'd be right outside of that. Higgins or AB in a full PPR?
AB.
Yeah. Freeman or Abdullah? Full PPR. I'm going to go Abdullah in a full PPR. Eric Griffo, Carter, J-Rob, or Jackson. We need two, so who are we sitting here? Sitting Michael Carter?
Yep.
Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Please hit us with a sub and a like if you are new to the channel. Mooney or St. Brown for Jace?
Mooney here for me.
This one's going to be St. Brown for me, but they are close. That would be a sweet man cave. Gibson or Michelle have Henderson and Jared Patterson. This is going to be Michelle for me.
If you have Jared Patterson, I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson.
I just don't want to mess with that toe injury. In a game where they could be playing from behind, I don't know. I would just rather go Michelle there and not just avoid that situation altogether. Foster or Komet. This is going to be Komet.
Yeah.
I already got that one. We are split on that one, Jace. CB, appreciate you rocking with us. Full PPR, Michelle or Gibson have both back. Okay, we already got that one as well. Zeke, Waddle, Rojo, full PPR.
I'm going to go Waddle.
Waddle like it's hot. Buffalo D or Pats D. Who do you like in this matchup?
I'm going to go Buffalo.
I'm going to go Patriots. I don't think we've helped Eric or Jace here at all. I think all of our answers have been split. I just think in this one, the Pats probably have the better shot at a turnover than Buffalo does.
I don't know. Did you see Mac Jones playing last week and some of the disgusting throws that he decided to make? The thing is that that's going to be key here is that Buffalo can get up early and build a lead and force Mac Jones to throw the ball a ton. If that happens, I think Buffalo D. And you have to imagine, like I said, this is an absolute must-win game for them. And you have to imagine after they kind of got embarrassed and heard all of everybody, basically dogging them, that they pretty much Mac Jones threw the ball like 3 times the last time they had played, or whatever ridiculous number it was, that they're going to be coming out for some blood here in this one. And so I prefer to go Buffalo here, and if they can build a quick lead, that's going to be a problem for Mac Jones. This is Renfro.
Yeah, they're close for me. Like I said, I lean Pat C. Renfro for me as well. John Harris, Michelle, Gordon, Cooper, Mooney. At least 2. Let's start with the running backs. So Harris, Michelle, Gordon. We need 2.
Harris and Michelle.
Harris and Michelle for me as well. Then we need a flex. So either Gordon, Cooper, Mooney, half PPR.
Mooney.
That's going to be Cooper for me. Chargers defense or Miami. It's going to be Chargers for me.
If you want to go Chargers, I totally get it. So with that one, I totally don't mind. I think both of those are really good plays. I think you can flip a coin.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, you can flip a coin on that one. I lean Chargers because I think there's probably a higher percentage chance for turnovers and sacks in that one. Is this Michael Carter? See, these Michaels and Michelles are messing me up. So I mean, for RB2, and I'm assuming that's Justin Jackson for the RB2. So I'm
or
go
Jamar
Justin
Jefferson.
Jackson. Damn it!
I'm assuming that's Jamar Jefferson.
Trouble. Let it.
Let me put it this way: if it's Justin Jackson, it's 1,000% Justin Jackson. But if it's not, and it's Jamar Jefferson, we're going. I'm assuming that's Sony Michelle. I would assume that one. I don't know whether Michael. Either way, whether it's Michael Carter, it's Sony Michelle, it doesn't matter. You're playing that guy. That's the one you're going with. It's not Jamar Jefferson.
Yes, but if that is Justin Jackson, it's 100% Justin Jackson.
It's just we need to create a flow chart and and everything else and how this works. But yes, that's the way it would work.
So if it's Jamar Jefferson, it's not Jamar Jefferson. If that is Justin Jackson, it is Justin Jackson. Ship, we need 2 here: Sanders, Madison, Monty.
Sit Madison.
Sitting Madison as well. Guys, any last-minute questions, you can jump over to the Discord and ask them there. Madison, Clyde, Javonte, which one to sit for Reese?
I would bench Terry.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. Thanks for throwing that in there, Reese. Yes, it is Justin Jackson. So you're going to plug in Justin Jackson.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Appreciate all you guys. Like I said, any last minute questions, you can join our Discord, ask them over there. We'll answer them up until lock. We appreciate you guys. Please hit us with a sub and a like while you are here. Good luck in week 16, and hopefully we'll see you next week in the ship.